Turn that top light off.
I'll turn it off.
We are here.
Hey, everybody, this is Mike Hernandez. Louis, Joy, welcome, welcome, welcome. We cannot wait to hear you guys share your story, present. Thank you so very much for your leadership. So we can see you, we can hear you. So go ahead and start when you're ready.
All right, yeah, thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad everybody's on the LifeWave Zoom. Yeah, I'm Louis Murray and Joy Murray. You can tell by my accent, I'm from a town in the South. I never really realized how country I sounded until I did my first Zoom. And most people think I'm from Georgia, not Florida. But anyway, we're excited to be here, do the presentation and tell you our experiences along the way. Nothing less than been an amazing ride. So yeah, we can click on, we'll get with the presentation. Sorry, we got a little delay.
There we go.
So yeah, the stem cell patch, it just activates a peptide in your skin, signals the brain, and powers our stagnant, dormant stem cells. And as we get older, the quicker we age, the slower we heal. At 30 years old, we lose about 50% of our stem cells. At 60 years old, they're pretty much gone. I think we have about 95% of them. So that's why we age quicker and don't heal as fast. And you basically reversing the aging on a third of the cells. So we're slowing that process down, and the results are just amazing. I mean, the testimonies we've had just from the beginning from friends and family surrounded closest to us before, we branched out and it's spreading like it is. It's pretty incredible. And the patch is non-transdermal. There's plastic actually on both sides of the patch. It just has some organic nanocrystals that reflects the body's energy. And that's what activates the peptide in the skin, a copper peptide. And that's pretty how simple it works and where the magic happens. I mean, amino acids and peptides kind of go hand in hand. And so when the energy reflects off the amino acids, it raises that peptide, signals the brain tells our stem cells to get to work and do like God created them. And that's what's amazing about the product. You're just reflecting the energy God give us and empowering a stem cell that he put in us that we started out as. So that's why we see such great results. And the best thing about it, where I got involved, one reason was because it wasn't a new startup network marketing company. There wasn't going to be all kinds of startup issues, things of that nature, because it was a 19-year-old company. And God, I believe since the X39 patch has been on the market or was released, the company went from $20 million to $280 million just in the last 2 years. And another thing, it was being in 75 countries. They've already did the legwork, opened up in all those countries. I haven't been involved in networking in over 10 years, and I was just an amateur in it at the time. But I've seen the troubles that the companies went through to try to open up the countries, and just to starting to get off the ground. You had so many issues. So that's what I was comfortable with, a 19-year-old company. And already open in so many countries was just amazing because, when you're networking, you meet some people that have family here, friends there. And especially now with today's technology and everything's Zoom. So you can just get on a Zoom call and have people from all over the world. So it's, pretty amazing. So that was strong to me to know it was an established company, especially for networking. That's huge. And David Smith, yeah, how amazing is this? I've been fortunate enough to meet David about 3 times. And that was another thing. I own 2 tire stores. So I'm my own business owner. And to see that David was the inventor and the CEO of the company, it wasn't big corporate conglomerate with a bunch of different people in charge and a bunch of egos involved. And so when I first went to a convention and seen David, I already knew how amazing he was just from the patches and the X39 and hearing his story. Once I met him in person and seeing how everybody can just flock to David, it's just because he's nothing less than amazing. I mean, it's no wonder the patches do miracles. I mean, so yeah, there's been a 2-time recipient and actually in an Inventor Hall of Fame. So that's pretty huge. It's like I said, and I like telling people a doctor didn't invent these patches, is actually an inventor. So, you know, that's huge in itself. And another thing with the patches is a lot of doctors don't, if it's outside their wheelhouse, they won't even give you the time of day. And I have several doctors wearing the patch and their wives because I guess they understand stem cells are the future. And especially when I explain to them how the patch works. But it's crazy how a doctor didn't invent the patch, an inventor did. But I have doctors open eyes and ears to it as soon as I mentioned stem cell rejuvenation patch to them. So look, David is just starting to. It's I can only imagine what our future holds. It's going to be. We're just excited for meeting him in Aruba, having a conversation with him on the elevator. I already know. I was like, you know, we just starting. If we're versing the age on a third of the cell now, I can't imagine what the future holds. And the patents is huge on the product. That's another thing as a business owner that I seen was when you have a product that everybody on the planet needs, and we're the only ones that have it. I think there's 15-year patent left on the X39. So for the next 15 years, nobody is going to have the only patch in the world that allows your body to heal itself. I mean, that's strong. So as a business, I seen that it wasn't a big conglomerate, a 19-year-old company, then 75 countries, and I'm the only one with it. So yeah, it was just as a business decision. I was like, I got no choice. I said, we got a lot of people to help, babe. Once it helped the people around us, and you know, 1, the business model, and 2, how strong LifeWave is. And when you activate your stem cells, everybody's different. I've patched up so many people. I've seen people feel it in 3 days. I've seen people feel it immediately. I've seen some people 2 weeks, some a month. But mostly what you see immediately with people that are healthy, they'll notice better sleep, more energy, pretty much right out the gate. But like, for instance, the doctors, I was explaining, one of them was a Dr. Land in San Jose. Ever since COVID, he had a problem finding words. He had like brain fog. And I was explaining the patch to him. I said, well, I've had a lot of people just right out the gate. He said they sense a mental clarity. And of course, I was one of those people. So I gave him some patches, patched him up. After like 4 days, he already could tell the mental clarity. The fog was gone off his brain. And this was a doctor who was struggling from COVID and with the brain fog. And I had another doctor, a family practitioner, same thing. You know, of course, doctors use our brain a lot. Patched him up, got rid of his neck pain, mental clarity came back. He's a super busy doctor. So the mental clarity is through the roof because once you power that peptide and it signals the brain, it kind of takes the inflammation and the heat off our brain, and our brain's able to function. It's able to message the rest of the systems in our body to do what they're supposed to do. So what happens is that food we eat, water we drink, air we breathe, the toxins get in our body and our brain just quits messaging. And so when you elevate that peptide, that heat comes off the brain, and that's where everything just starts working and we start seeing results. But one of those things is the mental clarity. We've seen people's wounds heal faster. The inflammation, reduced inflammation is almost immediately in some cases, because as soon as you put the patch on, it raises antioxidants and lowers inflammation in the body when you raise that peptide. Skin, I hope my buddy Jerry, I hope can log in tonight. I hope he's on here going to give a testimony about what it did for his psoriasis and a few other things. And so, yeah, I've seen it pretty much from everything what you see on the slide, and then some stuff that I can't even explain. I wouldn't even be able to tell you if there was something on the patch that entered the body. I wouldn't even be able to tell you some of the results I've seen, because you'd be like, what's on the patch? what in the world is causing those results. But like I said earlier, being how it's reflecting your own energy and power and the stem cell God put in you, I absolutely tell these people the results. They're nothing less than amazing. I'm sure I'll get to that in a minute. And so when I was explaining the heat in the brain, don't make medical claims. And with these patches, if you have any questions, consult with your doctor first. But I have big results with several close friends of mine with children with autism and friends of mine, mother with dementia. And I believe I see those results immediately because of this slide you see. When you elevate that peptide, the stem cells in the brain, you can see the first slide is from a 77-year-old woman. And I believe the session 2 was 3 weeks later, and session 3 was 6 weeks. So you can see the difference in the brain. So when the brain gets that relief, it's able to start messaging again, because I have seen big results immediately with my girlfriend's daughter. She's 22 with autism, and the lock brain went from hours to minutes. The communication skills better, and she had a problem like gritting her teeth. She would grit her teeth so bad that the mother would have teeth dust in her hands, and that is gone. And you don't know the feeling you get when someone calls you with those results. And then I had another friend, he's a military contractor. He trained soldiers to fly the helicopters with the double props, or whatever it's on a boat, whatever, double blades. And his mother in days, his dad called him and said, I don't know what these patches are doing, son, but your mom's memory is already better. And she's already motivated to back walking around the block and wanting to go back to the gym. So I really believe I see results that fast because of you can see this clinical study. That's another thing that I like to explain to people. This ain't some guy from the South. This sounds some country guy. There's clinical studies that prove this. It's backed by science. So I love that. That's another thing I love about LifeWave and David Smith being an inventor. To get patents on his level and to have a product like this, you have, the proof has to be in the pudding. So, we have it. And that slide I love to show to people because it kind of, they get a better explanation of when I say the peptide messages the brain. And I'm gonna let my wife talk a minute, because the slide here, you see 4,000 genes begin to reset. My wife's testimony was huge, even though I had so many around me. We didn't realize hers at first. And I'll let her explain how the hereditary part comes in, because her mother, her sister, and her niece all had to have heart surgery. So I'll let her explain a little bit. And here's my wife, Joy Murray.
Hi, guys. Hi, Team Quantum Field. Hi, all my friends. Hello, guests. So we've been, we were just talking about it, almost a year on X39, joining LifeWave. And so like 10 months or so. Well, I didn't necessarily start X39 because I had any like standout pain or anything like that, but just because it was a great idea. Always decreases inflammation, is going to be beneficial on every level. So I'd been using it for probably about a month, and we were driving home from out of town, and I just kind of looked over at Lewis, and I was like, I would get these tremendous heart palpitations. Like even if I was just sitting on the couch watching TV, I would like have to hold the side of the couch, catch my breath. This was just part of my life. It always had been. My mom had surgery for it. My niece had surgery for it. Eventually, I knew I would have to eventually. But yeah, we're driving home from out of town, and I looked at Lewis and I was like, it's been a long time since I've had an episode. That's what I would call it. And then I got to thinking, and I was like, it's literally probably been weeks, and I have still not had one since. And my response was probably not right, because then I started drinking all the caffeine that I wanted in my life that I've been depriving myself of. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what it's changed, but it's changed something cardiovascular within me. And then another thing that I realized later was I had a lot of scar tissue pain from a surgery I had about, I say 10 or 11 years ago. And again, you get used to the pain, which is the sad part. Like, how many of us don't really think that we have something that could be corrected or healed or helped, but because we're so used to living with it. And I had just gotten used to this scar tissue pain. I would just, you know, walk around with my hand under my armpit and support my arm certain amount times of the day. And that has been totally gone since doing this X39. Again, I don't have to explain it. I don't know why. I know it's decreasing inflammation. I know that much. So yeah, a lot of benefits. And since joining LifeWave and this group of people, a thought's been prevalent in my mind just since I've felt the effects of it. And since I've been able to share it with people, is that, you know, you have what it takes. You, like Lewis said, you have what it takes in you. The body is an amazing thing and so capable of healing itself if given the right environment and the right support. And that's really all we're doing here, is just allowing the body to be the miraculous thing that it is. And also you have what it takes as far as building it as a business. If you remotely care about people, if you remotely hate to see people suffer and be in pain, then you have what it takes to build a beautiful, robust business that you can be proud of and team up with people like our friends here, and Lewis and I myself will all here to help you. But that's only one story of many. So I'll let Jerry or whomever else get on and share, but thank you.
Great. I appreciate it, babe. Yeah, it's when I seen that with her, even with everything else going on, I mean, it was that right there was huge, because if you see on bottom of the screen, it says if you wear the patch for 6 months, you reverse the appearance of your cardiovascular age by 8 years. Just wearing it 45 days reverses the appearance of your cardiovascular age by 2 years. And that's in a clinical study. So, and then so I read that in a clinical study, and here's my wife's lifetime cardiovascular issue, you know, is gone. She hasn't had a heart palpitation since she's been wearing the patch. I mean, that in itself alone. And in the middle where it says within 3 months about the collagen, I have a friend of mine, Becky, at Lake Lanier in Atlanta. She's worked for Pfizer for, I think, 24 years. She's been on the patch. I have a message on my phone about 2 weeks ago that said she usually got Botox 3 to 4 months. It's been about 7 months since she got it. And a girl who has been administering her Botox for 18 years told Becky, I think Becky's, what was she, 56, 58, 7, said that yeah, right. She might be on here. I better get that age right. But she said who administers her Botox said she couldn't believe it. She said, Becky, your skin has gotten thicker. She said, usually all my customers, as you get older, it gets thinner. Your skin gets thinner, and yours has actually gotten thicker. And so as far as it building collagen, that was one testimony I had. And then I have another girl, Amy Sellers, a good friend of mine, who's La Rev Hair Salon here in Jacksonville, throwing her a bone out there. But she's another one who sent me a picture, said, Lewis, I canceled my Botox appointment. So, you know, it's building something, because I have girlfriends canceling Botox appointments. And so that was amazing itself with the collagen. And also a lady who needed a knee replacement and didn't get it, needed a complete knee replacement after 1 year on X39. I actually met her in Orlando, and she had her knee scanned, and all the cartilage and tissue had rebuilt in her knee just from wearing the X39. And so, yeah, now I have it actually helping friends. So it's nothing less than amazing. It really is, all the way around. And Start X39, this website is what I share with everybody. It's not a corporate page. It's a page that the Quantum started, Onyx Cole, Steve Merritt. I believe it's just startx39.com. And all it is an info link. It's just an info link for all the information on how to use the patches, all the clinical studies on the patches, all the patents. So anyone that is a naysayer or blah, 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 I'm like, well, just go to this site. All the information's there. I said, it's all there. And especially at the bottom is just great testimonies. All these testimonies I have personally, there's hundreds of the same on the bottom of that page, startx39.com. It's huge because you're not confusing people. We had 5 different websites. They made it all in-house. And this is one of the strongest tools. This is the strongest tool that I use. Seems to be this link in Zoom meetings. And the patch, how to wear it, you wear it 12 hours on, 12 hours off, because it's light therapy. been around for thousands of years. That's kind of how the non-transdermal part comes into it. So you put it on, wear it for 12 hours, your body's rejuvenating. You take it off, go to sleep, your body heals for 12 hours. So basically I tell people just put it on when you wake up, put it on when you go, take it off when you go to sleep, and drink lots of water. Because when I said earlier, you're raising antioxidants and detoxing the body as soon as you put that patch on. So you have to drink lots of water because you're rejuvenating every cell in the body, your stem cells, when you empower them, you're rejuvenating every cell in the body. So you have to drink lots of water. It detoxes all the impurities out of the cells. Literally stuff that's been on us our whole lives is going to start detoxing. And so I tell people the more water you drink, the better results you're going to receive. Period. So that's what I try to tell everybody: drink lots of water. And I don't know, we're at testimonies. I don't know if Jerry made it on here. Did you see Jerry McNeil on there?
We don't find him. Oh, we don't find him.
Okay,
but,
that's fine. That's fine.
yeah.
I can tell you, I'll go ahead and tell you, we were getting the testimony. Joy did hers. And I'll just tell you, my buddy Jerry is my best friend, and I gave it to him right out the gate in Joy. And he took it for his chronic feet pain. And he also had psoriasis he wasn't even thinking nothing about. And so after like 3 days, he calls me up, just 3 days. He's like, Lewis, my psoriasis on my knees is already looking way better. And I took it for my feet pain. Well, literally 2 weeks later, psoriasis was almost gone. I mean, it went from a whole knee to a dime size. And then his chronic foot pain's gone. And then his sleep's better. And this is my best friend since junior high school. We talk, 4 times a week. So that was his testimony. It's one of the first ones I seen. And then mine was my reason why I'm even probably into stem cells. One's because Keston and Mike, we're boys. We've been friends for a long time. They're in South Florida, and I raced motocross for a long time. Like I wasn't a world champion like Steve, but I've had a lot of injuries myself. I had a bad back for about 15 years, and I dealt with it, and I ended up tearing my disc from my spine. And Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute told me basically it was a lifelong injury. I had to live with it. There was no fixing it. And I've already been living in so much pain. That wasn't suitable for me. So I was already looking into the Reardon Institute, who is the proprietary in stem cells. So it cost me $25,000. I had to fly across the world and do a real invasive procedure. And the reason why my procedure worked is because they extracted the stem cells God put in me. They extracted like 12 stem cells out of my hip, spun them with amnion stem cells out of amniotic fluid, inundated my tear. And it had me crippled where I could barely move. And I was going to be like that for the rest of my life. And luckily, right when I woke up, I had no problems from that tear. Luckily, it worked. But I still had so many aches and pains. I still walk crooked. Every part of my body hurt from all those crashes. But I could walk again. And I was like, hey, I'll take that. But now, once I got on the patch, after about 9 days, I just woke up one morning. I just woke up with all this energy. I could get right out of bed, and I carried that energy through the day. And then after a couple of weeks of wearing it, I needed stem cells in my shoulder. Like you said, I can move my arm. I could not do this before the patches. It's strong as it's ever been. And so I was going to spend thousands and thousands of dollars getting an injection in my shoulder. And then I can explain the difference to you, that the stem cells that you see, people go to chiropractor offices and practitioners and those nature. Most of the time, I have several people on my downline, athletes, and like Sifu Arnett, world-renowned Wing Chun Kung Fu master. And they spent $30,000 on different, injected stem cells, amnion stem cells, with no results. And the reason why we have such great results, because it's our stem cells. Our stem cells that God put in us have way more healing properties than the injected stem cells. And the stem cells, they say, oh, they rob them from babies, or, people say, and you hear that, those have a lot of growth factors, but they don't have the same healing properties as ours. So when you empower the ones God put in us, that's why we see so much better results, because Sifu Arnett and other people I know that had injected stem cells, 5,000 to 7,500 a pop, had no results. But they're having the results from a patch that's $99 a month. And so that's what I love to tell people. I'm like, for 25, I paid $25,000, but for $99 a month, you're empowering stem cells that have way more healing properties, and they heal the body like God created it. And so you really can't put a price on that. It's like intravenous stem cells, but your own. And intravenous stem cells are $30,000 right now, and you got to leave the country to have them done, and you're still not going to have the healing properties as the X39 with light therapy like David created it. So that's why he's nothing less than a genius. And if you ever seen his story, he tells you he knew stem cells were the future of healing, but they were so expensive and invasive. So that he was an inventor for the military, and I guess all the knowledge he learned and stuff from there, he was able to, once he realized that stem cells, the power of them, he found a way to get them to us all for $99 a month with light therapy. And that's why it's so important that he has that 18-year patent. I think 15 years left on that patent, because I'm telling you, when I say it's the only patch in the world that lets your body heal itself, it absolutely is. And it's patent, which means it's all ours. So if you haven't signed up yet, I'd be doing it tonight, because it ain't no train leaving the station. This is the rockets blasted off when Steve and Mike and down south got a hold of this. I mean, this thing's on fire. I mean, they're gonna need Elon Musk to guide this rocket as hard as they're going. And so, and then the biggest thing where I go into the business side, what made me get so involved with networking. One, I just love helping people, and that's my biggest thing, is just helping my girlfriend's daughter with autism alone, and my wife's issue. That's enough for me alone. But when I can help, I've helped so many people already. I have so many testimonies. When I wake up to people calling me, thanking me, crying, the testimonies I see, I mean, you can't put a price on that. You really can't. But at the same time, with the way the business is structured and all, I mean, it's the ultimate business model. It's the #1 business model on the planet. If I could have been introduced to this business model when I was in my 20s, because I've went through a lot. I own 2 tire stores. I do road service, tractor tires, skidder tires, and it's just hard work. We're in Florida, 100-degree weather. You can't get employees anymore. I got to keep hundreds of thousands of dollars in inventory at each store. I got workman's comp, general liability, breakdowns. I got the government, taxes, matching taxes, all these headaches, people not showing up for work, people scratching people's wheels, breaking jacks, all these headaches that come along with a traditional business. And that's what I love about this business model. I don't have to have any of that. None of it. All I have to do is order some patches, put them on, share it, feel it, and spread the word, and it pays. And it pays good. And so it's just such an easier way to make a living if you're like wanting to be a business owner, because a lot of people are stuck in their own jobs. And I got news for you. When people say pyramid scheme or things of that nature, I tell you, network marketing is by far a pyramid scheme, because I can pass the only network I did was 10 years ago, and I passed my sponsor. Who put me in, I passed them. In a pyramid, you're not able to do that. Murray's Tire, M&M Lewis Murray Realty, my businesses, those are pyramids, because nobody's passing me. I'm at the top, and you're never going to pass by me. So the government, you're never passing the president, where I buy my electricity, where I buy my water. I don't have no choice. I don't have no choice in that matter. So I'm stuck. And I got a lot of friends that are stuck. You're only going to make so much money at your job. And if you want these other things in life, you got to start thinking like a business owner. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the dedication. You got to put in the time. It's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be fast, but it's going to give you that vehicle to do it, because you got to treat it like a business. And when you treat it like a business, it's going to reward you like a business owner. You're going to have your time. You're going to have that extra money. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of times you're going to outwork the salary at your job. I mean, it depends what you're looking for. I mean, everybody's different, but that's to me, that's so awesome about network marketing, is it's what you make it. And the biggest thing with this is, because you're on this Zoom call tonight, and when you realize that Steve and Gina, they've created a 200 millionaires, I believe. Onyx Cole's just a legend. I mean, I had the pleasure of hanging out with her in Aruba. I actually taught her and her daughter coming into a piano bar. Got to have a good time with them, and have a great time. We're in a in Aruba. Steve and Gina, right? Steve and Gina, they took us all to dinner on their dime. So it's nothing less than an amazing group of people. And Steve, Gina, Onyx, Mike and Saeed, Keston, these people are there for you. You got to learn with this business, you don't do it by yourself, you do it as a team. You have to plug into the team, plug into them because they're there for you. I do three-way calls with Mike, three-way calls with Keston, because it gives everybody a different perspective of it. Mike will be hitting on the business side. I'll be hitting on some testimonies, because people on the call can relate to a couple of different people. And if you can plug into them, and plus their prior success. I mean, they've already done this before. You ain't got to reinvent the wheel. You just got to follow the leader. And I said I raced motocross earlier for a long time. And fortunate for me, my good friend was a pro rider. So I was able just to follow him. He knew where the fast lines were. If I've been to a track I'd been to, he already knew where the fast lines were. If there was a big uphill triple or downhill double, he'd be like, just carry my speed. And so I was able to get, to a pretty high level in motocross by following the leader, following a pro. And so you do that with Steve, Mike, and Keston, they got it already formatted for you. The startx39.com's there, the 331's in place, and more or less network marketing. I mean, it's going from 200 million to 300 billion. The stem cell industry side of it, the stem cell industry alone is going from 200 million to 300 billion. That's pretty huge in itself, and just stem cells. And we're going to have the biggest part of that, here in the next run up the next few years. We will have the biggest stake in the stem cell market, I honestly believe. And the compensation plan, Mike's real good at explaining this. He's usually my money man, Killer Mike. But it's easy. Put 2 on your left, 2 on your right, and get to work. Help them get 2 on their left, 2 on their right. And it's a binary. They make it really easy for you. They really did. And that's another thing when I seen the way it's a binary and the way the comp plan's structured. I mean, they really make it super easy for you. It's once you get to the levels. I mean, I believe you only, got to break a couple directors to make it to senior director. And then you just work off volume. You don't have to break 20 people here, 20 people here, 30 people there. You just got to break 2 directors and work off volume. So they really made it easy as far as the comp plan goes. And the matching bonus, like you sponsor somebody, and the next 2 people they sponsor, you get a matching bonus percentage every time they get paid. And so I believe it's up to $25,000 a week. So the next 3 levels under you put in your friend, they put in theirs, and he puts in another one. It's 25%, 20 and 20, but that's a 25,000 a week. So you get your 25,000 a week, and then you get 25% of someone else's, and so on and so forth. I really don't like to talk about that. There's a lot of people, because it just seems so out of touch, because those numbers are just crazy, but they do happen. And there's several people that are on this call right now that are making that and then some pretty easily. So yeah, it's good stuff. They definitely pays. And the 331 system that they put in place makes it easy. And it's basically just, introduce the patch 3 people a day, follow up with 3 a day, and invite 1 to a Zoom. 331, that's pretty much the basis and format everybody's going off of. Is the 331, the 331.com, build331.com right there. Makes it pretty easy for people, and it's flying. I'm telling you, I'm seeing people move up through the ranks. And I can tell you another thing to help out to make, some things I deal with, I could have done different, is your friends and family. The people you want to do this with you, the people you want to be healthy, a lot of times are not going to be the people to do this. You can introduce it to your friends and family. That's great. But some things I wouldn't do. I was giving out 7 to 10 patches at first when I started giving them out, because I was excited. I started as a gold. I got in on the gold pack because I was like, let me see it. Let me fill it out. But then I immediately had to upgrade to a diamond pack. And I ended up getting like 3 or 4 diamond packs because I had so many people hitting me up for product. And it worked. I handed out 3 or 4 diamond packs and I signed up 60 or 70 people. But that, you don't have to do that. That don't get you to the promised land in this. You can literally sign up 3 on each side and build from there. And so, I went through the ranks pretty quick doing that. But what I learned is Don't drag your friends and family to the finish line. And the person that's going to build is going to be the person that you meet through. My biggest builders I did not know until LifeWave. And honestly, that's what's so great about LifeWave. That you meet all these great people and you meet like-minded people. So now my builders were not in my sphere of influence. These are all new people. And so as far as sampling out patches, I probably give people 3 patches because they're expensive. It is expensive to hand out a week at a time. I'm fortunate enough at the time, I was like, well, I like helping people. I can do that.
Yeah.
But I think it ended up costing me because some people feel it in a week, some it takes 2 or 3 weeks. So if you sample them out 3 patches, in my opinion, then that keeps them guessing because some of them feel it the first day, some of them feel it in 3 days. But if they didn't feel it in 3 days, I also explained to them it could take 30 to 60 days to feel it. So when they say I'm not follow up with them, and that when I follow up with them and they're like, well, I hadn't filled anything. Well, I was like, well, you only use it for 3 days. We'll go ahead and order some, get the full benefit. And there's a money back guarantee. So how can you even go wrong? If you don't feel anything, the company's going to give your money back. So it's kind of a no-brainer. If they don't order it, they didn't care about their health anyway. So why was I wasting my 7 patches on them? And another thing I said was the follow-up. Follow-up's everything. If you're going to give your patches out, make the time and effort to call these people. Make sure you absolutely are dedicated enough or disciplined enough to have the follow-up because everything's in the follow-up. And I'm pretty much going to wrap it up with that because we're going to follow it up. I don't know if Big Mike's going to come on here, him and Saeed talk about motivation and the book of the month. I read the last one, Mike. I appreciate it. I appreciate that book. And hopefully we see everybody at the convention coming in August in Tampa. And that's another thing. They'll tell you, everyone who's successful in this, whoever brings the most people to the convention is the one's going to go through the ranks and bring home the biggest check. Anyway, love you, Mike, Saeed, Steve, Gina. Appreciate the opportunity. Hope everyone has a great night.
Love you, brother. You guys did an amazing job. Thank you, Louis. Thank you, Joy. Hey, guys, listen. This is what this business is about, right? We're just going out there. We're launching ourselves. Saeed and I, we don't know how to use a computer too well. And Zoom to me was very, very intimidating. And I know that Joy and Louis, they're also intimidated about coming in here and, speaking to everybody, but we do it anyway. Why? Because this is bigger than any fear that we can have. This is bigger than anything that can hold us back. And we're blessing folks out there. So thank you guys so much for blessing us today. Yes. Hey, you know what? When he couldn't get the person to come in and share his testimony, I recently got a video sent to me by a couple that came here to my house that usually come every single week to bathe her dogs. And she had a problem in her shoulder. I put on the X39. Within a couple minutes, she's like, oh my goodness, what is this stuff, right? So she felt blessed. I gave her some patches to go home. But instead, she stopped at the next stop where she had another dog to bathe. And that dog they call Spinner. They call him Spinner because the lady adopted him from the pound. And he has a neurological disorder where he's always spinning. He spins in circles. Even when someone's at the door, he goes spinning. They put the patch on the dog, and long story short, they're gonna have to come up with a new nickname for the dog because he's not spinning anymore. But she was on a walker, and she sends me this video. Listen to this. All right.
I can't walk normally I have to use my cane because it hurts so much.
Your walk is starting to straighten out too.
It's weird.
What about the pain though?
I don't feel it at all.
So you're zero pain, and usually you feel the pain how often?
It's constant. Whenever I'm off.
Not try to lift your legs and stuff like what normally makes you hurt. And normally that hurts.
Right, it's normally right there where you put that patch on. It doesn't hurt at all. And it's mostly on the left side. My right side doesn't hurt. Like this doesn't hurt.
We've got the cookie. Hey guys, so listen, I'm here. We're gonna wrap it up real quick. For those of you here for the first time, guys, you already heard Louis. This is the application. Either you're gonna get this application or you're gonna get a link. But I'm telling you what, do not go to sleep without signing up. Second, if you're serious about this business, if you were in real estate, if you were in sales, if you were in insurance, you usually go out to the conventions to hear from the top guys in the industry. That's the same thing we're doing, guys. But instead of spending thousands of dollars, it's $150. Like Louis says, this is it convention. And guys, for those of you who are new, every single Monday, we do a quick little motivational Monday message. And every month we're reading the same book, right? So this month, the book is
Be obsessed or
Be Average. Be Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone. And yesterday we drove all the way up from West Palm Beach to Tallahassee. First time ever going to Tallahassee. And we drove back down. So we spent 12 hours on the road. And guess what we listened to the whole road on the whole time? Be Obsessed or Be Average. And I love that book. This is now my third or fourth time listening to it. And I just want to give you a couple of little tips that I picked up again. Grant says, and listen, Grant might not be, your favorite speaker, writer, whatever, your cup of tea, thank you. But it's like anything else, guys. Think of it as a buffet. Go in there and pick up all the good stuff that you like, all the nutrient stuff that you need, and leave whatever else you don't like. But me, I love it all because he speaks my language. He's a very, very fired up kind of guy. He comes from nothing. And some stuff that, again, just the more, it's like anything, any book, like the Bible, the more you read it, the more you get from it. So yesterday he was talking about, and I could relate to this, how all of us have been obsessed about something at some point. And it can be something as unproductive as video games. Right? Some people it's poker. Some people it's a show. Like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with that show. I remember I was obsessed for some time with the Narco show, right? And I don't watch TV, but one time I was exposed to that, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't want to stop watching those shows. But the point is, guys, at some point in your time, you have been obsessed about something. And he says that's a good thing, even though it wasn't towards anything productive. But the fact that you have been obsessed about something, it means you have it in you. Now you just got to shift that obsession into something that's really going to bring something positive to your life, right? So the reason why we're so obsessed about this is not that we're obsessed about LifeWave. It's not that we're obsessed about stem cells. Is that we are obsessed about helping people, and we are obsessed about changing our lives because we come from nothing. So guys, you need to really bring that obsession and apply it because, again, this is a life-changing opportunity, right? I don't know what it is that you want out of life that you can't get doing what you're doing, but when we tell you it's here for the taking, guys, that's an understatement. So another thing that he says is, he was obsessed with his goals, right? What he wanted to attain. And he writes his goals every single day and every single night. Before he goes to bed, he has a pad by his bed, and he writes down his goals for tomorrow. The next day he wakes up and he writes them again. Again, he's a very obsessive kind of guy, but look where he is today, right? So he came from nothing. So it's so important, guys. You got to write down your goals, and your goals are 3-3-1. You're going to go out there. You're going to look for new people to talk to. You're going to reach out to somebody that you know. You're going to look to connect with new folks. You're going to look to meet new people every single day. And you're looking to do it intentionally. When you write it down, it's fresh in the brain. It's fresh in the brain. You go out there and get it done. But lastly, what I want to talk about is a dream board.
Yes.
Guys, Sai and I, again, we've learned from Stephen Gina Merritt. We've learned from Mankim Curtis. We've learned from Onyx Cole in our first company back in 2006. And these guys were talking about dream boards. And I'm like, that sounds kind of silly, right? Like, really, you want me to cut out pictures of stuff that I want? Well, guess what? We started taking pictures of watches that I wanted. Sai was very good at this stuff. And I started duplicating what she was doing because she would have 3/4 of the board would be her. All of the shoes, all of the bags, all of the trips that she wanted, boom, boom, boom. And eventually when she attained it, she would take it back down, and she would always have new magazines, cutting stuff up and putting it there. But again, that's for you to see why you're doing what you're doing. Why we're going to go through the ups and downs of any business, right? And in this business is what? people being negative, people being judgmental. But when you know exactly why you're doing what you're doing, and whether it's your kids' tuition, whether it's retiring your spouse, retiring your parents, buying a new home, traveling, guys, you need to put it there and put a lot of stuff there, right? So it's very, very important, guys, but it does make a huge difference. And so you got to see it every day. It's the same concept with Grant Cardone, writing and seeing his goals every single day. So guys, listen, you're going to be obsessed or you're going to be average. And average just doesn't cut it, right? The reason why you're here is because you want more out of life, but you got to see it every single day, because again, like anything in life, guys, there's seasons, and there's highs and lows in network marketing. There's highs and lows in any business, in general.
Yeah, and I say, like, for Mike, this is his cup of tea. Like, I feel like he was born for this, because even if it's not a business opportunity, any product that is doing good for him or he loves, he promotes even without getting paid. For me, on the other hand, it's not the same way. I'm shyer. I'm more like an introvert.
Sir.
I can say, and this is totally out of my comfort zone. Even though we've been in this industry before, we've had we've built another business before back in 2006, but still, I tell people, still, it's not in me still to do things that, this business requires. But you know what? I make it a thing to get out of my way. And every day I pray, I'm like, please God, help me be better. Like, I want to be able to speak to those people that you have for me to speak to. I want to get out of my own way. I want to be able to do this. So work in me, like, so that I can be able to do this, because it is out of my comfort zone. But you know what? You can't let that fear of all these things and all these little things that we have in our head, all this voice in our head, we can't let that hold us back from something so great, because this thing is amazing. It's great. Anybody that really wants to do it can do it. It just takes persistency, consistency. You have to do the activities. You have to do the activities without comparing yourself to anybody, and without getting discouraged, and listening to all these things. Because I tell Mike, and I tell people, like, when we're talking to people, like, maybe you think like, oh, it's a waste of time for me to be listening to all these books, or maybe go to a convention. But guys, you're investing in yourself. That's personal growth, personal development, a skill that you're gonna attain that is gonna serve you for everything you do in life. I guarantee you. There's things that we learned back then from books and stuff that we even apply in our marriage.
Yep.
And with our son. Like, we've seen all those things that we've grown, that we've developed, those things that we were weak at, that we went strengthening by reading and by listening to these audios. We've seen them in our son.
Yep.
So it pays off, guys. Take it like you're investing in yourself so that you can be a better human being. And the rest is history. Like, and right now it's momentum, ride on this momentum, hang on to our arms, and we're going to do this together, but we're going to work with the people that really want to do it and that are running, because you're going to run hard. You're going to work at this. This is not easy. You're going to work at it hard for a season. But listen, if you work hard for a season and you don't give up and you don't get discouraged, you're going to be able to help many, many people get what they want. And as a consequence, you're going to get everything you want.
And you know what? Something that we learned is that success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. You know how I apply this into this business? Success is going from no to no without losing enthusiasm. And some people that say no, listen, some of the people that are the most fired up in our business today, I spoke to 10 months ago. Okay. And now was the time. But you know why they're running with us now? Because we didn't give up.
Exactly.
Because we kept going. And they saw that train is moving with or without them. So now the time is right for them. Now they are the most fired up. They're requesting the most time out of our day. But you know what? I'm happy that the time is right for them. And I'm going to give them the same love, the same support. But my point with all that is, you guys keep going, because we're ready now. Don't sit and wait for those people who aren't ready.
No.
Those people will come around when they come around. But we're gonna keep moving on. And when they're ready, we'll stop for them, put them in the train and keep it moving. So guys, look, we've been a member in Audible since 2018. Since 2018, right? I have over 84 books in my thing. So when I tell you that this has become a lifestyle for us, Saeed spoke about that little voice in the brain. That's why people say that this business is built from here to here. It's all about how you're built up here. And we all have that little voice, right? Years ago, I learned to recognize that voice, and I learned to dig it in the ground and bury it, right? And every now and again, it'll try and keep up, because as long as you're alive, that voice is alive. But the minute you learn to recognize it and put it in its place and replace it by a more dominant, more confident, and more motivated voice, guys, your life will change. And how do you do that? Like I said, are these books. So I'm going to tell you right now, don't take that part lightly. You have to make it a thing every single day. We all have 168 hours of the week, right? Take a few minutes every single day, whether it's a shower. I play mine in the shower. I play mine when I'm driving. I play mine when I'm walking my dogs at night. I make it a thing. So I will tell you, I am the most consistent when it comes like that. So far to the point where I can't watch television. I can't watch radio, because to me, that's all bubblegum for the brain. Don't get me wrong. So I will turn on a movie every now and again. Come on, let's watch a movie. It's Sunday night or whatever. And I'll sit down and I'll watch a movie, but I am very, very obsessed with really turning myself into who I need to become in order to be who I am. Because God forbid, guys, your business will never surpass your leadership, right? And your leadership is built on what you feed your brain. So that being said, guys, listen. I believe in every single one of you, because if we can do it, anybody can do it. All right. We're seeing people who have never had success in this industry come here for the first time in LifeWave and have success, because this is the easiest, most lucrative network I've ever seen. That's why we came out of an 8-year retirement to start doing this again. We were in a position where we didn't need to do anything else, but I knew. In the past, guys, we have been presented with a couple of opportunities, and I can think right now of Renita. Renita was involved with something a couple of years ago, and she got me on the phone with one of the top guys who I knew. He was like, "Hey, Mike, this company is really," and I told him, "You know what? I just don't know that I have it in me to do it again." And he says, "Well, Mike, what do you mean? If you did it one time, you can do it again." I said, "Yeah, but I'm just not, I don't have the hunger. I don't have the hunger that I had back then. I'm happy or sad to say I don't have that drive right now because we're comfortable." I'm sure Renita is listening right now and she can remember that conversation verbatim. And you know what? Saeed and I had a conversation when we started, that in order for us to have the success that we've had in the past and the success that we want to have now, we're going to have to attack this business like we started in 2006, when we didn't have 2 pennies to rub together, when we were picking up garbage and selling at a swap shop. And if we didn't hit it with that same intensity, we cannot expect the same results. So when we tell you that we hit this business, Saeed will tell you, she says, "I'm too intense." And one of the things she says is like, "I don't even stop to eat. I don't say no to people. When they need my help, I don't say no." Why? Because I'm hitting it like everything depended on this. I'm hitting this like I wanted to retire my wife, as if I wanted to pay my son's tuition, as if I wanted to retire my mom, as if there was a home that I wanted, or a new car, or something else that I want in my life that will bring me joy, and nothing else will give it to me. Even though we're not in that same position, I got in that mindset. And that's why we hit the level that we are. And guys, like I'm telling you, anybody can do it. You just got to have that same drive, that same obsession. And the last thing I'm going to tell you is, if you don't have those people that are fired up around you, because the minute you come around the fire, right, you get it, you feel it. So connect with someone, make it a thing to connect with someone in your upline that can, drive you and motivate you. And that's why these meetings are so important. Guys, I'm probably the most motivated person I know. but I get fuel from hearing this. I get fuel from hearing all these testimonies. So you just got to make it a thing, guys. These are just part of the things that we got to do to become successful in this industry, but it's simple. But most importantly, guys, if there's one thing you got to do tonight, do not go to sleep without investing in yourself and coming to this convention. Don't make the mistake of waiting last minute. That's the worst thing you can do. Make sure you log into thisisit.com. I'm sorry, thisisitconvention.com and sign up right now. Don't keep waiting because it's going to sell out. Don't keep waiting because you won't be able to get as many people to come with you. And don't keep waiting because we're going to also run out of the hotel rooms.
Yeah.
So no procrastination. Procrastination is the demon.
Give yourself that gift. Is the best gift you're gonna give yourself. Now is vacation time. That's gonna be time when kids are still not in school. Take it like a vacation. I don't know what you need to do, but the reason I know that you can all do it is because we were in a place where we didn't have anything and we made things happen because we didn't let all those things just stop us. We found creative ways to make things happen that we wanted to happen. And now that's the reason why we're in the position that we are right
Yeah,
now.
I remember
so anybody can.
I remember when we started, guys, Saeed had jewelry that she received
Yeah.
as a little girl.
Yes.
And we pondered it because we
Yeah.
figured, hey, we don't want to sell it, right? It's history, momentum, sentimental value. And we pondered it. And guess what? We let it go.
Yeah, we
right?
lost it. But you know what? My memories are in my head and in my heart. And you know what? I needed that to
Get
take
where
us
we
to
are.
the places where we are right now. And I'm sure, and we were able to give our son a better life and everything. So that all pays off. So I'm not attached to anything materialistic. You can make that anytime.
Yep.
So invest in yourself, guys.
Yep. Now she's got Rolexes she doesn't even wear or whatever. So we don't worry about those things. We are where we are today because of the sacrifices that we made in the past and all of the learning and growing that we've done along the way. So, hey, listen, make sure you connect everyone that you know to the Wednesday call. And as you know, Steve and Gina, Saeed and I, we're doing a tour. We're coming to a city near you. Again, don't wait last minute. Find out exactly where these events are.
I know we're in Atlanta May 30th. We're in Tulsa May 31st. We're in Oklahoma. We are in Alabama June 1st. We're in Houston, Texas June 3rd. Dallas, Texas June 4th. Scottsdale, Arizona June 6th. Orange County, California June 7th. Los Angeles, California June 8th. And West Palm Beach, which those meetings are amazing, June 21st.
June
guys.
21st. So guys, there you go. I'm sure Steve is going to post that somewhere, but let's go, guys. You can do this. We believe in you. You're worth it. Your family's worth it. And again, everyone's going to know about this product. The opportunity that God has given all of us is that we're the pioneers. But what we do with that opportunity is what's going to determine where we're going to go. So God bless you. We believe in you. Let's rock and roll, baby.
Let's go.